The year is 2023. PlayStation made the first slim PS5 and a remote play handheld that nobody asked for. Xbox had a couple good exclusive games released, and every game that had been delayed finally came out. Seriously, in prepping for my first top 5 games of the year list, I had a short list of more than double that number. The Game Awards were a week or so ago at the time of recording, and I did not envy those guys trying to pare down this year's many awesome games to 5 or 6 nominees, let alone picking one for the win. I suspect many tears, hint hint, were shed as many games that rightfully deserved at least a nomination sadly got passed over for no other reason than that we had an incredible year of gaming. This list is not meant to be what I think are the truly best games made this year. Rather, these are my own personal favorites that I squeezed in time for. Often not even recording for the channel because I just wanted to play. Basically, these are the games I just happened to spend the most time on this year. So between the vast quantities of excellent titles and my weird tastes, I'm likely to miss a lot of favorites. But please, share in the comments because I know there are way more games to talk about than I'll be doing here. These are the games I made time for in the busy gaming year of 2023. But before that, a minute or so of all the new games I played this year, because 2023 was so good, and I otherwise have no time to talk about these games for a while. Here are the good, and a couple bad, games I played this year. Alright, now that we're getting started, go back and play the intro again, because I said nothing about excluding remakes and remasters. For one, I ain't trying to hide how old I am, I just don't like to talk about it. I am very much in the camp of loving all the old games coming to new systems, whether or not they add anything new. If they just put Mario RPG on the Switch Online library, I'd be happy. But I am personally even more happy with this remake, as aside from the gorgeous graphics, the new features made some mechanics way easier to understand, therefore helping me to finally, truly finish the game for the first time in over 25 years. Yes, that's true, and yes, I am actually that bad at RPGs. I love the new triple combos, the timing indicators, Mallow's thought peak ability for teaching me how to play proper. Most likely, all the stupid little stuff I should have known was probably in the manual, but I didn't own the game on Super Nintendo, and they didn't really teach you how to play much during the gameplay until somewhere around the year 2000. Anyway, after playing the original many times over the years, I am so happy to say that thanks to this remake, I have now beaten Super Mario RPG, and it is wonderful. While this is a game really made for old fogies like me, I hope younger Mario fans will give it a fair shake. Yep, 2 Marios in a row! At least it's a brand new game this time, huh? Let's face it, 2023 was kind of a renaissance year for Mario, with the movie, new games, remakes, and all sorts of wonderful Mario goodness. Arguably the cream of the Super Mushroom crop this year is Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I know this game was nominated for Game of the Year. While it's not quite my favorite this year, the whole experience was delightful from start to finish. This top 5 is actually a little stopgap while I work on a backlogged review for this game, and if you take that as your oh-so-subtle hint to subscribe, that's exactly the point. Anyhow, it's incredible to me just how much of this game seems brand new, yet it all still feels right at home with the other great Mario games. Only time will tell if this earns a place among the classics, but I definitely think it's possible. One last thought about this game is that it really shows Nintendo's unique innovation, in that despite Nintendo's obviously weak online functionality overall, this game managed to be the most fun to play online. Playing local co-op is still chaotic fun, but it's somehow way more fun to use standees and a couple emoticons to try and help other online players, such that I even prefer it to playing solo. Yeah, and if this introvert who's scared to meet new people would rather play online, that is something truly special. And for spot number 3, we have ourselves another remaster, though I would argue that this is so much more. While us Metroid fans wait for confirmation that Metroid Prime 4 is in fact a real game that is actually being worked on, as either a stopgap or perhaps practice for new team members, Retro has graced us with one of our many unreasonable demands with an HD version of the first Metroid Prime. In an age where an old game could be ported, remade, remastered, or anything in between, it is harder and harder to tell what any of those words actually mean anymore. It could be argued that Metroid Prime Remaster is even more of a remake than Super Mario RPG. I have a video you can watch on it, but even the remastered parts of Metroid Prime are far beyond anything I would have imagined. I'm not an expert, but these textures look completely overhauled. And not only did they include both control options from the original GameCube and Wii releases of this game, they also made a dual stick control that feels way more like modern shooters and made all those control settings customizable. You can literally play Metroid Prime however you want now. I wound up with a control scheme similar to the Vita games I used to play that had normal and gyro controls for a more refined aiming system while I was locked on. Between all that awesome customizing and the gorgeous visuals, this is literally the most perfect remaster made yet. Now things get a bit interesting. Up till now, I was talking about the few games I beat this year, a rare feat with the schedule I keep these days. But these next couple of games I haven't quite beat yet. I'm close though, and considering how large these games are, that says a lot. Hence, I have no problem putting them this high on my list. I'm sure there are Final Fantasy fans out there who long for the series to return to its turn-based, or at least ATV, roots. I, however, love every Final Fantasy, yes, even 13, primarily for its fascinating worlds, cool characters, yes, I even like 13's characters, and excellent stories. When it has fun gameplay, that's just icing on the cake, which is not a sentiment I hold for most games. Final Fantasy XVI is coming real close to becoming my favorite in the franchise, as it smartly focuses on one character's perspective in this grand story and intricate world, grounding the events in a way that feels complex but understandable. But while the world building and storytelling is spectacular, holy cow is this game so much fun! No matter how overpowered or underpowered I am, I never want to skip combat. Whether I'm button mashing to waste wimpy experience fodder throughout the world, or carefully utilizing my skills to maximize my overall damage, combat in Final Fantasy XVI is the most fun I've had all year. No joke, I am seldom having more fun than getting into fights in Valisthea, and it really helps break up the incredibly upsetting events that make up the story. Really, I'd be crying right alongside Clive the whole time if I weren't so busy asserting my dominance over the other dominants and everything else. Can't wait to cover this on Backlogged soon. Yet, still, this is not my favorite game this year, because that honor goes to... Are you surprised? I was subtly hinting at my top choice from the top of the video. Look, anyone who knows anything about me and my gaming taste saw this coming since like last year. Yes, naturally, the brand new game in my all-time favorite series gets the top spot in my favorite games of 2023. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is so good, it completely halted all uploads on my channel for 2 months straight. The thing is, I knew it would be excellent. What I, and I think others, didn't know was just how many surprises were in store for us here. I can get carried away so easily here, so instead, here's a link to the video I did, my longest to date for many good reasons. But now that it's been several months, I feel I can share by far the largest surprise I encountered. There were lots of small surprises, like the massive usefulness of the fuse ability, but the thing that really got me was my first dive down a chasm into the depths. I quickly realized that not only did I have the regular overworld and sky islands to explore, I had an underground that was as large as the overworld itself with even more cool stuff to do. While that's the biggest surprise, the 120 or so hours I've spent so far have been full of non-stop surprise and delight in a way that I last recall coming, 6 years ago with the release of Super Mario Odyssey. For any game, especially Zelda, a series I can almost recite by heart, to continue to surprise me for 120 hours of gameplay is a wonder that I just struggle to even believe is real. Maybe it's because of how well I know Zelda that it is so surprising, but I still think it's all incredibly cool, and it may be able to finally dethrone Ocarina of Time as my all-time favorite video game. Not even Breath of the Wild was quite able to manage that, close though it came. It clearly had stiffer competition than I would normally expect for Game of the Year at the awards this year, but it's an easy choice for my personal list. So there you have it, the games I spent the most time on this year, hence becoming my favorites. Just a quick note, since this list is based on what I've played so far, it could change within weeks of publishing this video, so try not to get too upset. I'm not rating these as the best games this year, they're simply my favorites, so tell me about yours. I already had one friend telling me he liked Baldur's Gate 3 better than Zelda, and yes, we're still friends, so let's have fun talking about a year in gaming that will likely go down as one of the all-time greats. My video on Super Mario Bros. Wonder is just around the corner, and you can expect Final Fantasy to follow that soon, and a few others, so you know what to do with that subscribe button. Until then, happy gaming, and I'll see you soon!